Hey y'all, welcome back for part two on how to, you know,
Sustain.
sustain your marriage. My name's Sean Galloway. This is my wife, Risa Galloway. Uh, didn't mean for this to become a multi-part series, but as we talked, we realized the importance of there was more information we could give on how to sustain your marriage, tips, tricks, a little bit of advice here and there. This is going to be kind of a short video to a long video, probably like 15 minutes. So I'll let my wife start off.
Maybe 15 minutes. We see. We let the Lord literally lead us on this. But yeah, just like my husband said, we decided to do a part two. We thought it was important to kind of really dive deep. I felt like it was like surface level, and we know to sustain a marriage, a lot of people always talk about finances, right? A lot of people talk about respect in that matter, each other, right? Being vulnerable to each other, things like that. And that's fine as well. That's completely fine as well. And also, what we talked about in that first video, those gems you could also use to help sustain your marriage. So, yeah, let's dive in.
She hit finances. So that's always, I won't say been a sore spot, but I know in a lot of marriages it's a sore spot. Through our marriage, we've kind of taken turns, um, having at it, doing a thing, finances, as well as just taking turns, taking a look at it, balancing it out. Now it's back around to her circle of balancing it out. And now at this point in time, make a teaching moment because I know I haven't been doing it. So it's a teaching moment. You should come together and discuss not only the needs of your family, but also the wants. That is how you balance out a budget. Guys like to play games, guys like guns, guys like to go hunting, and you may have other stuff you like to do. Your partner may like my wife, she likes to shop.
No.
Not all the time, but she likes to shop. When she wants something, she wants something. So it should be available for your spouse to be able to get what they want as much as you too. And if you got children, incorporate them as well. I
Right.
encourage that. Like explain to them, especially as they get older. Hey, let's go to the grocery store. Let me show you what a carton of milk costs nowadays.
Right.
What eggs do like that. So you can get ideas with your children, and it can then go over into, hey, let's plan meals together.
Right, right, right. And so also like for me, as it goes back to like sustaining a healthy marriage, right?
Yep.
Balancing those finances is very important because that can cause arguments. We know that. We have had many arguments about finances
We have.
and disagreements, and I done got pissed off a few times, and you done got pissed off at me. But communication
Is key.
is key. If I want a purse,
She gets it.
but before I get it, what do I usually say?
Let me check what we got to handle.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the same way. If I want a video game nowadays, hey, I know it ain't the right time, but I just want to put it out there. There's a game coming out, which there is one that's out that I want, but I haven't gotten it yet.
I didn't know nothing about that.
I haven't told her yet because I'm still on the fence line to see how it does. It just came out, but it's like everything else nowadays. You either get a completed product or you get a half baked product. There's no in between of stages anymore of a product. And I can say with finances, that's the same way. You either do it
Or you don't.
or you don't.
Just communication. Either you do it or you don't. And I know that I think like when it comes to communication, you have to want to listen
Absolutely.
to your partner, right? Like I have a hard time listening sometimes.
And I do too, because we're caught up in doing other stuff for the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I have to tell my wife, hey,
yeah,
I need you to listen.
yeah,
And that way she knows it's serious. Hey, I need you to listen.
yeah.
Example, the other day I expressed myself, maybe not in the best circumstances, but I was expressing my feelings in relationship to my wife, not in even a relationship to myself, just how it felt, how it made me feel. And what I noticed was she didn't take too kindly to that, but at the same time, when you communicate, the other party has to be willing to receive it, because I think now she realizes it was just me worrying about her. It gets to a point to where when you're in a marriage, your partner's stress becomes your stress.
You do.
It's kind of like what's a joke I could throw out there? It's kind of like a big person getting into a small car. They know they're too big for the car, but they become part of the car.
Really, Sean? You couldn't say nothing else.
No, it's a
Oh
funny
my
joke.
God.
They
That's
just
not
kind.
nice. Okay.
It's not. It's just a joke. I'm not getting at anybody or anything. I'm just saying they have to want to receive it, and with good intentions, not lashback, not being angry about it, because they got to realize you're just looking out for them as they look out for you.
Right. Right. Like I can think about sometimes where, like, you going through your challenges, and it's I was trying to express that to you and say, hey, listen, like I need you to wake up. I need you to snap out of this. But I wasn't doing it the way that you can receive it either, because I was getting frustrated. And so it's very important to communicate to your partner before it gets to that point, because you're letting emotions, a lot of emotions, and involve in that when you're getting to a certain point. So it's very important to communicate effectively to your spouse, not even just to your spouse, your children too, right? And again, I know we piggyback for the first, from the previous video rather. So I'm not gonna just hone on too much of communication, but it is very important. It's very important aside of marriage. It really is. If I'm going through, like, if my husband see me, he's starting to see certain patterns inside me, and or I see certain type of patterns inside him. One thing that we do is like, okay, are you okay? Is there something I can help you with? And it'd be like, no, it's okay, but no, they can sense it, right? Your spouse should be able to sense it and feel it and can tell. Because I can get overwhelmed, and only certain people can pick it up, right? if you really know me, because I can do a lot, really I can, but I can get overwhelmed, and my husband can pick that up and say, okay, what do I need to do?
And it's not being you're being led around by the reins, by the horse, by your wife, by your husband. It's
Right.
honestly a respect thing. Because I've always brought up to her, I'm not a mind reader. Yes, I can look at
Mm-hmm.
you and tell that you need help,
Right.
and I can feel the change of the atmosphere in the room when she walks in. She's mad at something. I'm like, hold up, let me double check in the back of my mind. Well, I didn't do nothing today to make her mad. I've only been doing good things. So it's either one got to be the kids, the pets, the garden, something out in the world. Here, let me run through it, because we as men, it's like going through a car, man. You got to do your balances or rotations of the tires and the oil change. You got to make sure it's all good before you get on the road. So
It's
it's
called
like,
maintenance.
yes, it is, but it's not maintenance when it comes. The little computer you get, you plug it in, it gives you a code that may not be it. It's the same thing with emotions, because men react logically to a situation. I
Right.
heard it best when we were talking to a couple. I just want to fix things. That's my impulse. I want to fix things.
As a
At,
man.
at, at the same time, I've had to learn to step back and realize if I'm not the one who broke it, I'm not going to fix it, but I will help
Help.
my partner along the
Right.
right way.
Right.
Because sometimes even men get clouded by emotions, and we need that extra swift kick in the butt, or we need that pick up the hand out, like, hey, let me help dig you out of your hole. Here goes a ladder. Let me help you up. In another video, if we're able to do it, I'll show you the illustration. That's a good one about how a soldier feels with PTSD and he's picked up, and another soldier comes over and gives him a ladder to get out. It's the same way in your marriage. not everybody's gonna be able to relate to the military culture. So it's like having a good friend, you know, that you can call at 1, 2 in the morning. I have a few of them. I also have brothers in Christ that I could call, that you could call at 1, 2 in the morning. Because sometimes at 1, 2 in the morning, I'm up. I can't go back to sleep,
Right.
and I can't tell you what's going on. And I know my wife gets up, prays for me that I'm able to get back to sleep, but I leave the bed because I don't feel like disturbing her because I want her to have sleep. At least one of us need to have sleep to help combat the day.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's true. And you hit something about respect. Also, I think like with this goes from women and men. Like from a woman perspective,
mhm.
I think that not I think I know biblically we need to be submissive to our husbands, right? But for a man, I believe a man should be submissive as well to his wife. Not like as a woman would be, but still just respect her, ask her, hey, listen, do still the same courtesy like me and you do. Not everybody
I
roll like this.
mean that comes in the form of love.
Right, right. Like I give, you give, I take. Like it's I don't know. It's like
It's not even that. It says in the Bible, you know, you love your wife as Christ loved the
the
church.
church. Yes.
So,
Yes.
you know, so that goes into, if you don't have respect, you don't have love.
No, absolutely not. So, if I'm going, as you know, I do a lot of traveling.
Absolutely.
That's not a secret, but I do. And sometimes you call me, sometimes you don't. Sometimes we go as a family, sometimes we don't. It is what it is.
Sometimes I gotta hold down the fort.
Right. I was about to say, sometimes you just got to take care of everything. It kind of comes with the territory, right? It just do.
And I will be honest, even getting, you know, even being a disabled vet, you know, I'm not used to being the stay-at-home dad, and that's what I asked God for. I put my own foot in my own mouth.
He did, y'all. Oh my gosh, he did.
And now I'm praying that I could go. Now that my son's 18 and he's kind of figuring out stuff on his own with our help, and he's figuring it out, that I can go back to work and I could put a little bit more time into my daughter too. Like I'm still gonna put time into my son, but my daughter's still under the age of 18, so my daughter needs guidance. And I'll be completely honest, it's been a struggle trying to divide attention. I don't know how mothers do it. To between children and what they want and what they want to do. One feels like you don't spend enough time with them, and then the other goes like, just leave me alone. Da, da, da. So I'm more inclined to spend time with my son because that's a guy, and I don't tell him everything. Like I'll let him know in on a few trade secrets sometimes, you know, hey, you know, I try to warn my child. Actually, both of them. Mom's not having a good day, so it's communication all the way around. Hey, mom's not having a good day. Just do what she asks, and it gets a whole lot better at the end of the day. Because when mom's finally, when she's dialed back from that hot setting, like on the oven, all the way back down to off.
You sound like you make it sound like I'm a bad person.
No, hot meaning like you're going 24/7. You're like, your mind operates at a high tempo.
It does.
And then to get you to dial back, I have to bring you to a point to dial you back. Just like when I'm at a high tempo, I don't get overwhelmed, but like if something breaks at a high tempo setting, Sean is laser focused in on that, and I don't realize what's going on around me because that's the military training side. We're gonna fix this right here, so it ain't a problem over here. So that's the way I operate in life always, and I don't try to operate at such a high tempo no more because there's no reason to. I'm not in that environment no more.
Well, now he doesn't, but now I do. So how our lifestyle, how it worked is that even though you gave me the choice of staying at home,
I felt that was only honorable because
he did. He gave me that choice. You can stay at home. You don't have to work. It was never no pressure of me working. But what? But I did what I wanted to.
She wanted to work, so I told her, and it's a balancing of finances because I saw what it was going to be before it even hit. God gave me that. I was like, if you want to work, you have to pay for our daughter's name is Aubrey, if you don't know already, and our son's name is Andrew. I told her, you have to pay for their child care.
That was my only bill.
That was their only bill. I took care of everything. And still to this day, it's a teamwork because in marriage, it's teamwork. If I could,
take care of majority bills.
If I could at this age, my wife wouldn't be working. My wife would be sitting in retirement. We'd be somewhere, and I'd be in investment banking. But due to goals, and at that time, we talked about investing and stuff, but we never did. We didn't do the follow through with it because I believe if we would have done it, we'd still be in our house we are now, but it'd be fully paid for. Them cars out there would be fully paid for. We would be pretty set off, and we could be doing anything we want to, pursuing our goals, our life's desires. But she would still want to work, but that's cool. But she could
still want to work.
She could get a job to where she's focused on what her passion is versus I gotta be here. But she has found passion in her job.
I love my job.
And I support her 100%. Like,
right. And he does. So let me just kind of go back. Like, you communicate that with me. We got married, in 2012, started dating in 2011. But I quit my job. I was working with the neurologist at that time as a neurodiagnostic tech. I was making pretty good money. And I left.
That time of day? Yeah. She was making good money. That was my sugar mama a couple times. I'm just playing, y'all. No, like, even then when we were dating,
I never put that.
No, you didn't ask me for no money for bills. And the only thing I really asked her for was gas money. Literally gas money. I asked for $25 and she was like, I'll even throw in some money because at that time I did smoke
groceries.
For some groceries and for some cigarettes. She threw in extra because she knew at that time, I'm not going to tell all my business because it's nobody's. It was a learning lesson. It was a stepping stone. I had other obligations because of,
We're not going to talk about that.
We're not going to talk about that, but it was just other obligations that people put into the air, and people could put stuff into the air and curse you, even your own family, without even realizing word curse is a real thing. And that's a whole nother subject for a different time. But
maybe
if she feels like getting into it, but she helped me out even then, and I knew from that she was meant to be my wife. And at the same time, when she was working and I was home, like in Fayetteville on leave or on a 4-day, I was watching my future son, and we'd go out and do stuff. And she was like, "What are y'all doing?" And then I would me and him would show up just randomly. Hey, here goes lunch. I already had lunch. Well, here goes lunch anyway. It's the thought, right?
Yeah. And so I just remember, I'm not gonna go into all of that, but I know that you gave me the opportunity to stay home, and we communicated that. I keep going back to that because you did. And now I feel like we really switch. Like when you had told me, came to me and say, look, I want to quit my job, go back to school. This is after you retired from the military. And you was working. We got remarried, and then you was working, but you came to me pretty much after we just bought this house, y'all, and said that, hey, I feel led to go back to school, which she did, and take care of the house while you work, because look, I'm gonna work. I'm gonna work.
And I don't handle 100% of the house. Like if you were to have this conversation with modern women, well, your husband should be doing this for you because you're the one working. No, it's a teamwork, because
it is.
There's sometimes she's doing stuff out in the yard and I can't get up, or I have debilitating migraines that I get up and take the kids to school, but my eyes, like, I focus on that and I come back home and I'll sleep, and then I'll go get the kids. It becomes robotic in motion. So like she said, it's communication. And I did tell her that she could stay home because that is an option I wanted to give her.
Right.
And pretty soon here, God's going to bless me with an awesome job. And when I get it, she'll again have the option. Hey, do you want to stay home or do you want to pursue other things? And if whatever she gives me, I'm going to support 100%, because the only bad idea or the only bad question is one unasked. Yes, you may think it's stupid at the time, but I'm pretty sure if you go back and think about it, your partner had a point.
Right. And you got to remember the season that you're in your marriage. Like how what we look like in our marriage may not be for someone else. You know,
Absolutely.
again, you gave me, I keep going back there. You gave me the option to stay at home, but I chose to go out to work. But I'm glad I did, and I'm glad I continue to stay inside college. I'm glad I decided to keep going to college. You know, I never used your GI Bill. I didn't want no parts of that. Even though you gave me the option, I felt like, no, baby, this, you have goals, your individual goals that you want to do inside your life. I have individual goals that I want to do inside my life. I'm gonna get them done. You know, I'm gonna get the done type of person I am. And it took me, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I worked. I am, because of course, our whole marriage. Maybe I didn't work a few, maybe like what, 2 or 3 years out of it, maybe, but the rest of it I did. And we was able to build the house up together. It wasn't so much a stress on you, even though you said, baby, look, you ain't got to work. But I went to school, became a doctor at 27. You know, like, even when I quit my job in Tennessee, in Kentucky, and that was a decent job too. That was a government federal job.
You know, that brings up a point. Now that you say all that,
Yeah.
men, women, if your spouse or your partner that you want to marry in a God ordained marriage, if they hit a hard time, help them out. It's not, oh, we're going 50-50, this and that. Sometimes it's 100-0, dude. Look.
Come on.
If I was able to take care of 2 kids, 2 car payments, and still get my wife everything she wanted,
you did.
Hey, people could do it too. And
a house payment, everything.
And this was this was before I even hit E5. Like, well, not the house payment, but the car payments and the taking care of my children. They had everything they could want. Then going out and then, you know, one day being like, oh, look at that. You know, let me get my wife some new rings. And I paid for it in full that day.
Yeah, my husband always buy me like diamonds and jewelry, like, and that's why I seem like I'm so simple. But no, I wear quality, quality.
And that was something that I put in the marriage too in the beginning. Like, I'm not gonna go for quantity. Like, even she knows.
Nope.
If I want something, it's gonna be quality. Like,
me too.
We both are quality people. Like, and that's the type of views and values we put into relationships, quality over quantity. Because I could have the type of person I am, the type of person she is, I could have thousands of people visiting this house throughout the week. I value my peace too much.
Yes, we both do. We both do.
And it used to be everybody and their mama wanted to come over our house, like in Tennessee. Oh, you have such a beautiful house. Da, 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 da. When we get back to North Carolina and we're at our rental, everybody wants to come over, and it's like, it's a lot.
It is a lot. It could be a little overwhelming when you want your peace. Like, and I'm not saying like we have people visiting and stuff like that, but our home is our like safe space.
And it's annoying to hear people in your family, when they call up your wife, call you, hey, what you doing? You must be playing the game. Yes, that is my peace. That is my hobby. I have other hobbies too. I'm an outdoorsman. I love to go walking out in nature and stuff. Like, don't get it twisted just because I'm a gamer. I got firearms that I want to go to the range and calibrate. Right now just ain't the time for it. And that's the thing. I'm an all around person. I'm a jack of all trades and a master of none. And I've always been that way. Like, IT is just another tool in my thing because I want to know about everything. That's just how my mind works. I have to know how it works. I may not know how to take it apart, but I know how the functionality of it. And that goes into relationships. You want a functional relationship for your marriage.
Functional household. Functional. Yeah. I could not do what I do if it wasn't functional. Whew. It doesn't always work that way either, but
let me break down the definition of functional.
You not Farisa functional?
No, where we're talking about functional from the point of view of husband and wife and how it should be functional. Like, and I know I've been throwing percentages out there, and I know we talked about this in the last thing, so I'm just going to hit on it maybe for 30, 45 seconds. You want to be able to wake up in the morning and go down and get your cup of coffee. You want to know where that stuff is at. That's functional, right? That's not too much to ask. You want to know where your keys are at, or if not, your partner knows where they're at. That's functional. Functional means that, in my opinion, the definition of it, Sean's definition, is being able to pick up the slack and make it work. Even though it may look dysfunctional from the outside, it is functional for those people.
What works for them?
Exactly. What works for you is functional. You know, if you have kids, your house should look like it, and you have we're both neat people. But I'm not a clean freak. I believe in the functionality of a household, whereas I grew up in a household where I had a neat freak for a mother. I didn't like that. And somebody had to tell her at church, calm down. And I said the same thing to my wife. Yes. As long
I'm
as
a neat freak, okay?
As long as calm down. As long as it's livable, it's a living space. So children, it should look like a child lives. They're not. It's we say in the military, dress right, dress.
Still working on that, because that's not how it works. Like I don't want to see no dishes in the sink. I don't want to see no trash in trash can.
No, all that should be done. But what I'm talking about is like a child's room. If a child lives there, it's okay to see a couple toys. It's okay to see a pair of shoes over there. It's okay to see their backpack not hung up. And it's the next day. Guess what? Like us, our children get exhausted. Our children have lives of their own outside of the house, and they may be holding something in. They may be going through something emotional. So it's not right is right and wrong is wrong. But at that time, God says to give them grace and mercy, right? So you gotta give everybody a little bit of grace and mercy, even though you don't feel like it and it's annoying you. Now, if it's a progressive thing, then that's just your child's being lazy, or you're just sick and tired of it, and they're sick and tired of it, and y'all haven't met in the middle somewhere to agree on something.
Communicate, right?
Yeah, communicate.
Yeah, which kind of goes me back to our next topic before we get off of here. You just hit something talking about grace. Give each other grace inside the marriage. I have failed in that area a whole bunch of times.
We both have.
I'm the worst. I'll be real. At least I'm honest. Like I failed in that area. And I think it had a lot, not I think, I know it had a lot to do with my upbringing. So yeah, I failed, and that's important to give each other grace, because we all fall short. We all fall short. I don't care who you are. Sometimes we have this to-do list in our head, or this to-do list, and we don't get it done like we're supposed to. And sometimes we get frustrated. We get frustrated with other people, with our spouse, because they forgot to, or it slipped their mind because they was focused on something else that was more important to them at that time to get done in that order, and we don't give them that grace. And you have to think about, well, maybe because he or she was taking care of this, so you wouldn't have to worry about XYZ. And so I had to step back for me as a wife and say, okay, like the way my husband is now, he's not the same guy he was 10 years ago. Okay. And I'm not the same woman that I was 10 years ago. And so I think I'm actually more heightened now than I was back then. While he is what I was before, I was more relaxed. Now I'm not, like, I'm relaxed, but I'm nothing like that. I'm more high function. And so, and I guess because God has increased my capacity, that's probably what that is too, for sure. So, and plus with the military, him getting out the military, he had to unlearn some things, and we had to communicate that. He had to unlearn. I had to unlearn some of the things that, from him, and learn the new things of him, because he's, the military break you down, build you back up. Well, when you're retired, you get out, what tends to happen? I'm not a spouse, but I am a spouse, but I'm not a veteran. But I do know this from a white perspective. When I'm seeing you, like you're not, your whole day is different, your whole structure is different, and so we have to learn that part of you that you don't even know yourself yet.
Exactly, yeah. And it it's very difficult to go, like I said, from high tempo to a low tempo.
Right.
But you gotta learn that a military guy has to keep moving. They gotta find something to do. And for me, for a while, that was games because I didn't know how to communicate because
You didn't.
the last thing that happened in my military career shut me down. And it was a suicide of a kid that I knew by face that I had just talked to, and I think that would shut anybody down. And
Yeah.
she had a hard time dealing with it.
I did because
And
you didn't communicate, right? So I didn't
well,
know.
I was shut down, and then I did try a couple times to communicate, and there's no right time to communicate. There's no finding the special spot, the perfect spot to communicate. And
Right.
there were times where I just broke down crying, and she's like, "Why are you crying?" And I just couldn't, like, it's like God has stilled my tongue. I couldn't say nothing because it wasn't the right time.
And I wasn't really soft either then. I wasn't. Let's be real. I wasn't. I was, and I feel like I'm still working on that too. That soft. I'm so, like, I won't say hard, but I guess because that mentality of survival mode, it's hard for me to be soft, but you have loved me through that to help me soften up. And back then I was not soft at all.
It is very difficult to love somebody that's not soft. But let me tell you, it is before we get off of here, it is very difficult sometimes because although they're loving you in their own way with what you're going through, and then it's turned back on you. It's been a very difficult journey. There were times where I could have just gone off and been like, before we ever got married, because she kept asking me, "Are you sure this is what you want? Are you
did.
sure this is what you
You
want?"
talking about when we got remarried?
Before we got remarried.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, because I had a child. Before we got married, like, I had a child, right?
No,
and then the foolishness and my mom was so disrespectful to you. Oh my God! Like, so many times oh Jesus, my mom, she couldn't stand your guts.
And then she turned around and I became the best thing.
Right.
I became the best thing since
Jesus.
Sausage on toast, or however you want to put it, sausage on a biscuit.
Oh my gosh. Like, tears coming to my eyes now. Just think about some of the stuff she said. And you're like, how could she say that? Like, you didn't do nothing to her. But the fact that you was taking her baby girl, you was taking her grandson.
That was for her perspective. I was kidnapping them and taking them away from her. I didn't kidnap them. I was trying to give them a better life because there's no way I could have had another marriage.
Yeah.
And her been living down here in North Carolina and then me be up in Texas. There ain't no way.
Yeah. Mm-mm. Yeah. And
I mean, not Texas, Tennessee. I apologize. Yeah, that was later on. There would have been no way because it would have taken a toll on me to keep driving back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah. And you did. You drove back and forth, 10 hours before we got married. And that's how I knew you had my heart, may I say. Driving back and forth. Didn't say nothing at all. Just, you just drove. When I said Andrew was sick, you came, you took care of him while I was at work. I said, Lord, this man, oh Jesus, this man take care of my son. What in the world? but literally, that's how you had my heart, like, truly, because
it was 9 hours.
It was
sometimes.
Well, yeah.
And I would call her, and I knew she was the one because I'd call her up when I'd be like up in the mountains, and it'd be like 1-2 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
Hey babe, I'm about to run out of gas. I don't know where I'm about to go, or I was just lonely because it gets lonely on them trips, man. Let me tell you, going 10, like she said, it's almost 10 hours between Clarksville, Tennessee, and Fayetteville, North Carolina, just a straight shot.
Mm-hmm. And did it many times. He did, but you did take me away, and yeah.
I didn't take her away.
Took me away.
I'm
playing. You take me away.
I love her to death. Mama had to learn to let go of the heartstrings, just like mine did, and learn how to accept the fact that her daughter had somebody that could love her for her and love her grandson. the way that she loved her grandson. And even when we weren't together, that's why I say her mama loved me. Because even when we were together, she called me up. Hey, son, you need something? Hey, son, you need this? Hey, how's my grandbaby doing? Hey, how are you doing? Are you eating? Do I need to come cook something for you? Like I will say she was hell on wheels. Hell on wheels, and I mean that. Hell, or some of our
She was.
that's how you know that those are the ones that got your back. Because
She was. Let's keep it real. She was.
and then she turned around and was like, "Well, I love you." That's exactly how
it was
she
a
said
test. It was a test. That's what that was. A test was a test for all of us. Because I was like, this woman. Oh my mama.
And
God
I and
bless
I
her
told
soul.
her, like, I called her up at work. I was like, "Your mama is doing this stuff to me." No, she was off that day. I was like, "Your mama," and they got in a fat like cats and dogs. I was like, "I will talk to you.
Yes.
I will talk to you later." And I appreciate her standing up to me, but her mama called me back. It was like, "Well, we just got in a fight." I was like, "Well, I didn't do nothing to you. And I swear to you, I never did anything to her mom. I never even kicked her out of my house."
Actually, yes, you did.
No, my exact words were,
You
if y'all guys keep fighting, you can go home and you can go to the room
You did.
and let me have my peace, because I don't want to hear it. And I didn't. I do not like. I don't even. I tried to get away from her when I feel like I got like it gets to an argument, because I can't do it. I hate arguments. It drains.
It does drain you. It drains anybody
so much. But you got people that love to fight, and we're just not those people.
Toxicity. And then my mom, that's what she wanted to do. She wanted to do that, right? And so I think that's like part of me growing up. Like, she was a very loving woman, but she didn't know, she didn't hug me, right? And that's another topic we gonna get. Like, she didn't hug me, she didn't kiss me, and that happened inside our marriage, where I don't like, walk by you, I won't hug you.
She absolutely does.
I
will grab her up and be like, "Excuse me."
And he had to talk to me and say, listen, you acting like you don't want to. You don't want to hug me, you don't want to kiss me.
And for a man, physical touch is very important. It's not even about sex; it's that physical touch, because that's how we know we're loved. Because hey baby, I love you. No, get over here. I love you. Get over here. I love you. I love me some of my wife. And I want to be near my wife. Sometimes you may sit on opposite corners of the couch to be comfortable, but guess what? My wife is in the same room with me. And I know she feels love. And if she didn't respect me and want to talk to me, she wouldn't be there. She goes through a lot. Like, we got 6 animals now, y'all, and she goes through a lot. And
I have I won't say a high stress job, but
it's a very high tempo job, and she's one of only like 3 people that are doing it within our job field, which
in the entire United States. So it can be.
And I tell her sometimes, I go like, "Nope, don't talk about work. Come over here, sit down, relax."
And he had to teach me that too. He did. But I know we kind of went off topic. I don't supposed to be how to sustain a healthy marriage.
This is how you do it. You have to talk. You have to meld with inside of each other and find common ground.
Right.
If you can't be yourselves with your partner,
right,
you can't be yourselves around your friends or your family, because I'm gonna put it to you this way, the best way somebody put it to me. You have to love your kids. You have to love your parents. You have to love your siblings. You have to love your extended family, because they are your family. Your friends, you don't have to love them. You choose your friends for life. That's how you know.
You're supposed to love everybody.
Just let me go with this. Your friends, you choose. You choose to love them. You choose to tell them you love them, just like you choose your spouse and you choose to love them
every day.
Every day, because I can wake up and be like, there's been days where I'll wake up and be like, "I love you, but I don't like you."
Man, I say that to him a few times a day.
And I just laugh it off. I just walk off. I go like, I didn't do nothing to you.
I'm like, I love you so much, but I do not like you in this moment.
And I will not have done nothing. Nothing.
No, let's rephrase that. What you said. He's right. He hasn't done nothing, meaning what I've asked him to do. That's what that meant.
That's BS. Because she'll say that to me. She'll say that to me when we're talking. She'll be talking about her job, and I'll be like,
no, I don't.
It could be talking about something, and I'll be like, hey, right now, I'm just not.
He's zoned out.
No, it's not zoned out because I'll be able to repeat back to her what she told me.
Sometimes, y'all, don't let him fool you.
95% of the time, verbatim. But that's just our quirks.
I don't talk to him always about my job. I don't know why.
No. It's an example. Like, you could be talking to me about something, and then you could be like, well, I love you, but I don't like you right now. And I'll be like, I didn't do nothing. So don't let her fool you. It's not always about what she asked me to do and I don't do. Because about 85% of the time, I do the stuff she asks me to do. And then maybe not the way she wants it done, but it gets done. Because remember, like I said, a man thinks differently than a woman. A woman is going to try to, well, there are some men like this too. But for my wife, I know in some areas she is a perfectionist. That's not how my mind works. Even in the military, that is not how it worked. It was A is right here, Z is right here. Sometimes I don't go the straight line. I go.
And that what does that do to me? That makes me.
It drives you nuts. But at the same time, in between of doing all that, I will have accomplished 20 other different things that probably were forgotten about by both of us. That while I was doing this one thing for you, I was like, well, I'm near this. This was supposed to have been done by one of us, and it didn't get done. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how an issue is solved, as long as it is solved and it is put to rest.
Right.
That's all that means. And the other thing is if you love somebody truly, love them in any season that they're in.
I don't know that.
Whether it's a gloomy season, if they're in a gloomy season, just love them, kiss them, hug them, and remind them you are there for them when they're ready to talk. Don't force people to talk. I've had to learn this too. I'm not going to say confrontational.
No, you're not.
But I am very direct. When I want to know something, I want to know it then. Because that way, I can be like, okay, well, we may not fix the issue, but I can start formulating how I want to talk about this. Because to me, a conversation is like a battlefield. You got to know where you're you got to know where you can win the battle, or where you stretch it out to where you can win the war, and not by meaning you win it and you prove your partner right. No, like, it's solved, it's done, it has been laid to rest.
Right, but that took us time to get like that, though. You're direct, but I'm more like, let's talk about this now.
Yeah, she wants to be confrontational about it. Like, that's how it comes out. And I'm not saying she's confrontational, but that literally, the one thing I do is be nonchalant. But the thing is she asked me to be nonchalant without her realizing it, to cool down my temple. And that is, I'm going to tell you something. As you grow as a person and you incorporate some of the things your partner asks you to do, it will drive them nuts. Baby, I need you to be chill. Cool. There is no 0 to hero in this chill mode. It's, you want chill Sean or you get high tempo Sean. There's no in between. I don't know in between. I'm either going to work or I'm going to sit on that couch and talk to you. Which side do you want? Because that's all I know, because that's how I grew up. It was either you sat down, let somebody else do it, or you get out of my way and let me handle it. That's how my mind thinks. That's how I basically built myself up, because...
And you're trying to work through that to change it, because it's not always good to be like that.
But that's the thing. You want me to be chill or you want me to be up here? Because if I'm high tempo and you want me to chill, I have no chill mode when I'm high tempo. And I can talk to you respectfully and everything, but I'm very
Direct.
direct and I can be very aggressive at that time. So I'm learning to be more chill. Hey, let's talk about this. And she's more the direct. She
I'm
reversed it,
direct anyway. I think I always been direct.
but now she's more
Direct. But that's because you kind of like
face.
you kind of taught me like that, and I guess because I don't have time to deal with foolishness either.
I don't want her to deal with foolishness.
You kind of like, you know what I'm saying?
It was a lot. Risa used to do a lot for a lot of people, and I told her
these people used to walk all on me, including family.
Mm-hmm. And I would step in.
Yeah, I had to be submissive and listen to my husband when he said, "Listen, no, you're not going to go do this, and no, they're not coming over here, and no, and it's not because I see you." Like he will see me choo for just whoever called me, asked me, because that's just what I was used to, you know? And so, yeah, I had to sit down somewhere and actually listen, because he was right.
There's a point to where for you to be a leader, you got to learn how to serve first.
Right.
Called servant leadership. And it's a great thing. It's a great experience to get out there and help people. But when you see it affect your marriage, when you see it affect the person you love, when you see it affects how they interact with you and your kids, no, because what you're not going to do is come up at this house and yell at my children or get short with me. Because, again,
we had somebody to do that, by the way. Not going to say anything.
Yeah,
it was a great friend of ours decided to do that, and we're no longer friends anymore. That really rubbed me. I never seen a side of myself come out, because you don't do that, and not in my house, and especially not to my child. So that right there put a huge rift.
And I wasn't there. I corrected the issue with her husband at the time. They're not together either. And I can kind of see the similarity now, but at the same time, he did wrong too. So we're not going to get into that. I'm not going to tell my friends' stories. I love them all.
We're not here for that.
The lesson from that was have your spouse's back. Always 100%. That's who you're going to be with the rest of your life if it works out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say this. If you can't sustain a healthy marriage, please, for your sake, and your children's, be happy.
If you have children.
If you have children. If not, for your sake, to be a happy person, go walk with God for a season or two and alone and back away from them. Well, what we mean by alone is don't be in a relationship. It doesn't mean you can't be friends with the opposite sex.
Right.
Or be friends.
Focus on you.
But focus on you and find you a tribe that allows you to focus on you and be yourself.
And help build you up in that season. Because that's really important. You know, it's very important. Yeah. Because hurt people.
That is very true.
Mm-hmm.
And hurt people will hurt the ones that they love closest to them first. So that's what I'm trying to say is before it gets to that point where you may just have irrecyclable. I mean, you may have differences. I'm not even going to try to say that word right now because it's a tongue twister. And you may not be able to work them out, but you both still love each other. And that's fine. You could be friends. You just weren't compatible to be together. God didn't mean you to be together. Y'all wanted to be together, and that's okay.
Right. It was self ordained, not God ordained.
So, I mean,
it's a word within itself.
That is a word within itself, baby. We're coming up on time. Well, we gotta go. I'm gonna leave y'all with this. We love y'all. We care for y'all. If y'all want to know anything, y'all want to see anything, y'all have comments that you want mentioned in the video, go ahead and leave it down in the comment area. If you like the video, please leave a like. And if you love what we're doing here, subscribe to the channel and help us out. We're trying to reach a wider audience, and in the algorithm, if you like, subscribe, comment down below, share on stuff, we can reach a wider range of people, because you see everybody talking about I'm happy and stuff like that, but I very rarely see people going, this is what to expect in marriage. This is the real, the raw, and
The fairy tale marriages is, I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible. You know, I don't ever want to say,
it
but
takes a lot of work. And guess what? For you to be like
yeah,
that, you gotta be carefree in the world, and everybody has cares. The only people that don't, even billionaires, have cares.
yeah.
But we're not gonna go into that. Like I said, if you drop a like, subscribe, leave a comment if you want to hear something from us. Again, tip your crown up and don't leave a frown on your face. Always get a smile. We love y'all. Peace out.